Alright guys, Jay at Broader Performance here. Really have anything to show you today. I just wanted to kind of talk about something with you. I've been doing phone tech service for, 20 plus years, and this is a question I've had a lot, and the question is, should I rebuild my own transmission? Well, it's kind of up to you. I'll tell you a little bit about it, and you can make your own decision. But I would say, over the years, all the people I've talked to and sold parts to do this themselves, I'd say probably most of them have been reasonably successful with it. Of course, you get those that aren't as lucky, and it just doesn't work or last or whatever, or maybe they don't even end up getting through the build for one reason or another. So I'm going to say this about the automatic transmission. It's a very unforgiving animal. If you think a woman is unforgiving, try working on one of these. I mean, they just have no mercy. You can't forget a seal. You can't put a wrong seal in. You can't accidentally cut or damage a lip seal when you put it together. You get into the valve body. You can't, you definitely can't forget or mix up springs. If you put a valve in upside down, the damn thing may not even work at all. It's just, I could go on and on about all the things that can go wrong with it. But having said that, again, most people do it and it works and it's fine. It does require, most of all than anything else, I think, is patience. And that's something that I deal with in this all the time, every day. It's the impatience of things. It's the bad habit that people have of being in a hurry for everything. And I rush stuff to them, whether it's a transmission, torque converter, or parts, and they get it and it sits for months, maybe even years. It's like, why are you in a hurry for it to run your warranty out on the garage floor? I don't understand that. I think a lot of times it's not intentional. Building these hot rod vehicles or, classic cars or whatever you're working on, it's not easy, and you always kind of think, okay, I'm going to plan this out. Yep, okay, get the transmission here and blah, blah, blah. Yep, got my fluid, got, upholstery kits here, whatever you're doing. It just never goes according to plan, and even, on a daily basis, I build transmissions, and I think I got everything together, and I know I've said this before. I go to build it. Nope, I'm gonna need something else. Need this, that. I'm at my assembly table here, and I'm trying to get a overdrive transmission done here, and nothing ever ceases to amaze me. For example, this input shaft here, this presses into the drum. It's bent like right in here somehow, and I couldn't get the stator in over it. It was binding up, and I thought it was a bushing. I thought it was a sealing ring. I was like, what is going on? I couldn't figure it out, and I put the thing on the lathe, and it's bent, like right here. I don't even know how it would bend right there and not, somewhere in the middle or something. This is a heat-treated shaft. It's a beefy piece. I don't even know how this happened. But in any case, it happened. Again, it's just one of the many things that just slows you down, goes wrong, you end up chasing more parts. Again, not to discourage you, but I want you to understand most of the time, it just doesn't like fall together and, oh, that was fast. Yeah, not for me anyways, but of course I'm doing a lot of specialty work, so that gets more complicated. I'm not really just, most of what I do, I'm really not just taking something apart and putting it back together the way it was. That's a little easier than some of the things I do. I do them like that at times, but there are things that I have to do to these units, and it just takes time, that's all. I'd say the thing that takes the most time is cleaning everything, and I work on a lot of old transmissions, so most of what I work on personally is 20 plus years old. I'm dealing with rust and corrosion. I'm dealing with things that are just worn. So it's, it's a challenge, but it's also very rewarding to take some greasy, nasty thing that's got some water and rust in it, and then you get it all together and it looks like damn near like new again, and it's a 40-year-old piece. That's pretty rewarding. I still enjoy that, I would say, and I certainly still appreciate it when they work. I know that may sound weird, but one of the reasons this company has invested a lot of money into test equipment. We're primarily mail order. We used to send a lot of these out of the country, which I really try not to do anymore. You can't service these things once they leave the country, but you got to have the test equipment, and and the test equipment could be your vehicle. I'm not saying to build this you have to go out and buy $100,000 worth of test equipment or something. No, you don't. Your vehicle is your test equipment. It's just, you're there with your vehicle and you're putting it in, you're not having to worry about shipping this 2,000 miles away or more, or whatever the case may be. So that's not your situation if you're doing this yourself. And that's a good thing. That helps you a lot. Everything's here. You can go for a test ride and, it's not right. No problem. You've got the car. If I send it out and it's not right, I don't have the car. We're not even near each other. What am I going to do? Fly out there and work on it? Well, we're exceeding the cost of the unit at that point, so it's not an option. But in any case, to not ramble on about this too long, I would say, in short, if this is just a bucket list item for you, yeah, I really want to learn about an automatic transmission. I would be real proud to say of all the things that I did on the car or maybe didn't do, I want to be able to say I built the transmission and be proud of that. And every time it shifts, feel that pride and joy and whatever. That's why you do it. Don't do it because you think you're saving money. I don't really think you'll save much money doing it yourself at the end of the day, especially if it's a first-time build for you. By the time you chase all the little nickels and dimes, and I know you see, complete rebuild kits advertised on the internet and things, and, oh, geez, look, the whole thing, $200, and this jackass wants $1,500 to rebuild it. So I can do this for $200. And maybe it just depends on what kind of condition it's in, I guess. And if you're not doing modifications to it, but I be honest with you, stealing from the company here and considering my labor free, I'd be hard pressed to build anything for $200. I'm bad with numbers. I'm going to be honest with you. My partner is the numbers person. She understands numbers and can figure out profit and loss on things. I'm terrible at it. I'll be honest with you. When I started this, I was basically paying other people to take my transmissions. I would, go out and buy a rebuild kit and the core, and say, okay, yeah, I did pretty good. I got $400 into it. I charged them $700. Yeah, I'm great. I made $300. I'm happy. Come to find out, I sold it for $700 and spent $750 building it. Didn't really realize all the nickels and dimes. You know, you tend to forget about things you already have, things you already own. You know, after a while you kind of think, oh, this is free, I have it. Well, you paid for it at some point, probably. So, but, you know, so my point is, you can save money. You know, you don't have to pay some jackass like me hours to clean the core and prep everything and all that sort of thing. Sure, you can save some money on my labor, absolutely, you know. But I don't know, you know, if it's not something you really want to do, and maybe you're great at body work or whatever, you're great at suspension work, engine work, whatever it is, maybe you want to just spend your time doing that than messing around with these things. Because the thing about it is, it's not that hard to build it, you know, and there's a lot of videos and information nowadays. You can learn how to tear it down and put it back together and get a book or a video, show you the clearances, show you the little tips and tricks. And you think, oh, this isn't so bad. Because, you know, years ago when I started, that information, all I had was the Ford manual. And honestly, that was very good. You know, I still recommend those if you have those old Ford manuals. Those are fantastic. They show you how things are supposed to go. And not just Ford, you know, it doesn't matter. It could be a GM manual or Chrysler or Mercedes, whatever you're working on. You know, those are all super helpful. And anybody that has that information, they can do the job. No problem, you know. I'm certainly not the only one on the planet that can build a transmission. So, in any case, so yeah, you can get all that done. It's just the issue is, well, I did everything and it doesn't work. Now what the heck do I do? That's where things get tricky. That's where things get discouraging. And I've seen this unfortunately happen to a lot of people. And they're just, I don't know what to do because, yeah, I learned how to build it, but I really don't understand how it works. I don't really know, you know, they can try to ask somebody like me, hey, what do you think's wrong with this? You know, God's honest truth, I'm probably not going to know. I mean, you know, I'm obviously going to have some ideas maybe, but especially where I wasn't doing the build, you know, very difficult for me to figure that out, especially, you know, if I want pressure gauge readings and things like that from customers. A lot of times they don't have this. Well, I don't have a pressure gauge, and you know, to do what you're asking to do, that's time consuming, and I just want an answer. Yeah, I know you do, and I wish I had one. And well, more often than not, I don't. You know, I have ideas, and if it's here in front of me, sure, I'll get it handled. But helping somebody over the phone or by, you know, nowadays it's by email. Don't really do the phone anymore, but it can be tough, you know. And I really do hate to see people spend a bunch of money on parts and build it, and even do a good job, and it just doesn't work. Hell, you know, some of mine still don't work. You know, that's why I get the test equipment and I can straighten it out. Sometimes you do everything right, and it's just, you know, again, I build a lot of old stuff, so it's old, it's worn out, and even when you get into the new stuff, you get into 6 speeds and 10 speeds and things, yeah, they're not that old, but in those kind of transmissions, you have valves that just rapidly cycle and do weird things, and they, you know, they make a lot of aluminum valves and things that they just rapidly wear out. And people drive a lot more miles now. You know, you can have a transmission that's 50 years old and it only has 75,000 miles on it, where you can have a transmission nowadays that's 2 years old with 75,000 miles on it. I mean, people drive a lot now, it seems. You know, the cities get packed and they move further away from their job to try to get a little sense of the country and quality family life and things like that. So I don't know. But again, I am not trying to discourage anybody from this. I guess what I want to stress is if you decide to do it because you want to do it. Do it because you'll enjoy it and you want to learn it. And that's the reason. I wouldn't, money, yeah, we all need to save money, especially as, as much as everything costs these days, it's getting to be pretty crazy. But money is kind of secondary, really. Just do this because you enjoy it. There may be other things that you can do with your time and make out better financially than building a one and done automatic transmission, but if it's what you want to do and you enjoy it and you have the patience and you're more than willing to, okay, if it doesn't work, I'm okay with that. I'll power on, and I don't mind pulling it back out and tearing it down again and whatever I got to do. I'm a patient man and I just enjoy wrenching, and that's no big deal to me. If you're the kind of guy that is going to build it and put it in, and if it doesn't work, you're going to throw your toolbox through the windshield of the car, yeah, don't do it. These guys here, they'll make you throw tools and smash things. Very frustrating sometimes, but if it's something you want to do, I want to see you do it. I've seen a lot of people successful with it. So, anyways, I think I'm kind of repeating myself, but one quick story. I think I've made my point, but one quick story is I still remember the first transmission I ever built. That was a C4. My friend's brother had, I don't know, I think like a 70, 72 Mustang, somewhere in there, and it had a C4 in it. And he bought a J.C. Whitney rebuild kit. I don't know if anybody remembers J.C. Whitney, but that was a cool catalog, growing up. I enjoyed the J.C. Whitney. They had all kinds of crazy things in there. They had those exhaust cutouts so you can bypass your mufflers, with a cable. And they had the, if you want a horn in your Volkswagen that sounded like an ocean liner, they had some cool stuff. That was a fun catalog back in the day. I don't know if that still exists, but I haven't seen one of those in, I don't even know, it's 30 years probably. But anyways, it was a J.C. Whitney rebuild kit, and man, I was excited, I was so appreciative of this job. I had all the Ford books, and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to nail it, and I think I was young, I don't know, 15, 16 or something like that. And, I put this thing all together, and I was real precise on all the clutch clearances, and, I'm going to do a good job. I used my mother's dishwasher to wash the parts. If she ever found that out, I'd be dead, even to this day. But, I cleaned everything in the garage with gasoline and brushes, and then after that, snuck it in the house when my mother wasn't home and put it in the dishwasher, double dosed the detergent in there, and stuff came out pretty good, I gotta be honest with you. But yeah, he put this thing in, and I'm like, oh, did it work? Did it work? Nah, it's blowing oil off the dipstick tube, man. It has no gears. No forward, no reverse, no nothing. Oh, man. All right. I probably put the valve body together wrong. Bring me the valve body back. As they bring me the valve body back, I go through this again, and, oh, yeah, I think I see what I did wrong. I messed up a check ball or something, and, I got it now. Here, put it in. All right, what happened? Blows oil out the dipstick tube and has no gears. Yeah, sorry, Jay. He's going to bring this to a shop and get it done for real. I was so bummed out, you know. I mean, I did it for free. I didn't want money, you know. I was just enthusiastic, and yeah, that was disappointing. And I think I built another one, another C4 after that. I don't think that one worked either. That was, you know, different problem, but it still didn't work, you know. But so I don't know. You know, many years later, I was determined to. I kind of enjoyed the challenge, you know, and I was determined to figure out how these work, and I've come a long way since then, obviously, and I still really kind of enjoy it. I don't enjoy the time pressures involved in it, but you know, I really enjoy restoring it, you know, because it really is. With the age of these things, it's a restoration now. It's not a rebuild, it's a restoration. And trying to get everything clean and looking like new. And that's another thing too, you have to kind of, you know, I have some customers, or, you know, not just customers, but even people you know, and sometimes myself, you know, it's that good old obsessive compulsive disorder. You know, you see a little staining or a little rust or pitting on a piece. You gotta understand that there's gonna be blemishes on these things, and just because somebody has a scar on their face, it doesn't mean they can't run a marathon. You know, so you have to know, you know, where is the pitting, where is the rust, where is the gouging, whatever. You have to kind of have some common sense and understanding as to whether, okay, this is not in a position that is going to affect the unit in any way. Yeah, it's a little bit ugly, but it's not going to hurt it, and it's going to be just fine. So you have to be the kind of person that, you know, can kind of live with that, and also can make that evaluation rather than, ooh, I don't know, this doesn't look that good, I'm just going to get another one. Well, you can do that, but if you're building something old like a C4 or Cruise-O-Matic or even a C6 these days, can't just go and get everything new anymore. Or you can't get anything new for those. You can, you know, get another used one that might be in good shape, but it's just not that easy to get these things anymore. So if it's something that, you know, you don't have to replace, don't do it. Plus, it, you know, adds a lot of money to the build, adds a lot of time to the build too. So then you get into that point where you're not really saving any money. You know, you take it to somebody like me who, I don't throw something away because it has a blemish on it. It depends on where the blemish is. I know where it matters and I know where it doesn't. These things are inside a case. They don't necessarily have to win a beauty contest, but they still have to function like new. So that's the goal. So just knowing the difference there. But anyways, I apologize if I went on too long here. You know, some of you guys are saying, and I got a friend of mine especially, well, man, you got to show your face in these videos. Look it, you know, I understand that, but I'm not Cindy Crawford, so this is not going to boost my channel by showing my face. I know what you guys, I know my audience. You guys want to see transmission parts. You want to see hot rods. You want to see what I'm working on. And that's why I like to hold the camera. I want you guys to see what I'm doing. I am not important. It's, you know, and maybe you'll disagree with me, but in any case, I feel like I'm trying to show you guys something. I'm not trying to be a television star. I don't have the looks or the personality for that. That's why I'm on YouTube. So, anyways, so we got that out of the way for the few that say, well, man, is this guy trying to hide something? No, I'm just trying to show you something. Something that I think is important. I know everybody is watching these because they want to learn about these kind of things. So I like to be with the camera and, you know, so you can really see what I'm looking at. If I'm showing you a scratch or a little tiny, there's a lot of small pieces, you know, and I really got to get the camera in there. And having the camera over on the stand, like where you are now, you can't see the fine details that I'm wanting to show you. So, just in case anybody was wondering, and I'm not a camera guy anyways, but in any case, I'm doing the best I can with these. I hope you're learning something from them. I hope you guys probably shut this off 10 minutes ago, so I'm probably talking to myself at this point, but I hope this is helpful to you. And just in closing, at risk of being repetitive, not trying to discourage anybody, but just do it because you want to do it. Don't do it because you're saving money. I don't really think you're going to save enough money to make it worth the hassle. It's not an easy job, but at the same time, it's not an impossible job either. I know a lot of you guys are very gifted mechanically, and you're probably going to do just fine, and I'd probably be happy to learn something from you, quite honestly. So, in any case, I'm going to stop here, and thanks for watching.